Have you ever looked at the gold market and just decided that it was too complicated and too hard for you to follow? Well, you're in the right place because in this video, we're going to talk about my gold analysis for this upcoming week. And I'm also going to share my trading plan, my entries, my exits, my profit targets, and all those zones in order to help you make better trading decisions for yourself. So it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down because we are going to plan from both sides. And this video is definitely going to help simplify and transform your trading. So here we are on the gold market, and you can see that the market ran up quite a bit this past week. I did catch a few moves, and this was one of the best moves, and it also led to one of the best trading days I've had so far. I will make a video on that eventually, but for right now, let's just go ahead and clear all of the drawings from the chart, and then as usual, let's go ahead and start on the weekly time frame. And as you can see, I do have quite a few alerts that I set up for this past week just because price was moving so much, and I just wanted to make sure that I captured everything that I could. So now that we're here on the weekly time frame, we can see, let me move this over. We can see very easily that price has made all-time highs. We have finally broke 2,700, and it looks like we may be pushing up towards 3,000. This is really crazy to see, but it's also very exciting because that means that there's a lot of opportunities inside of the market. So if we look at where price is right now, it's at 27.22. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and mark off my level right here at the top because this is the highest point price has made inside of the market so far, and it could potentially go higher. So I also want to mark off another level around 24.84. Now this is a really big range, and keeping in mind that we're on the weekly time frame, so far this is looking good because anything below this, it could mean that we could be reversing the market, and we would need a lot of volume in order for that to happen. So let's go ahead and go down to the daily time frame and reset our view. Okay, cool. So now on the daily time frame, there's definitely some levels that are popping out to me, and I want to make sure that I mark those off. So the level that I am seeing right now is right at 26.03. This is definitely a key level because prices come here for a few days in a row, and it used this level as a bounce up area to get to this all-time high that we're now seeing inside of the market. So I also want to mark off another level, which is right here at 25.49. This is really close to the psychological level of 25.50. And when we go down to lower time frames, we will refine these levels a lot more. So another area that I'm seeing is something up in here, but I want to wait until we go down to lower time frames and see what that looks like. So let's go ahead and go to H4. Okay, cool. So now we can see our zones lining up really nicely, and the level that's popping out right now is around 26.73, really close to 26.75, and mainly because at this point, this was some sort of support. We pushed up, we formed a resistance, and then we came back down to this level, and then eventually we broke it. So I want to make sure that this is on my chart, mainly because price could come back to this level right here, form some sort of support, and continue up. And these are the areas where I like to take trades from. So now that we have this level right here, I'm just going to go and look at the other levels that I drew just to make sure that it makes sense and things are kind of lining up. So this level right here that I talked about before, this is looking good so far. This level right here is looking good. And then if we go here at this 24.84 level, I do want to pull this down, mainly because we have a support, and then price just kind of pushes off from this level. So now we are sitting at 24.79, really close to 24.80, a nice round number. And I think that's it. Okay, great. So now let's go down to the H2 time frame and see if there's something that we can refine. So going all the way here, this is at the very top, still looking good. Now that we have a lot more data inside of this market being on the H2 time frame, I do see somewhat of a fake out right here. But for right now, I'm going to keep this level where I have it. And looking at this level, this is still looking good. We can see all the rejections that we have here on this level at 2604, really close to 2600 flat. And looking over to the left, we do have some sort of support right here. So that is still looking good. And then if we go down to this level at 2550, this is almost perfect. It is looking good. However, I do want to move this level just down just a little bit to 2547. And even if I would have kept this level right where I had it at 2550, that still would have been fine. But I like to make my zones really precise. So that's why I'm moving the level. And then if I scoot in just a little bit so I can look at this last level that I drew, things are still lining up pretty perfectly here. We do have a few rejections in this area signifying that this is a strong support. So let's go ahead and go down to the H1 time frame. We do have a lot more candles with a lot more data. So looking at this top level, still looking great. Yeah, I want to keep that right there. And then this level right here. So I'm looking at the levels over to the left. So let's see what it may look like if I move this level up just a little bit. I just want to see how this looks. And actually, I do like it. And I'm going to tell you why. So I moved this level up. Now it's sitting at 2676. Or you could say 2675. That's also really close. But the thing that I see is, yeah, we still got this fake out area, but price did come back to this level and then it rejected and then it sold off. So that's one reason why I like this level. We do have some consolidation inside of here. Price broke, but then it came right back up, forming a support. Then price tapped into this level again and then pushed up from there. So this is the reason why I like this level, and we're going to keep this right here. So if we look at this level down here, we kind of see this pretty much a break and retest happening here. So I really do like that level, so I'm not going to touch it. If anything, later on, I may make this zone a little bit slimmer just so that way it looks neat on my chart. But other than that, the zone will remain the same. And that's the other thing about this. You have to look at all of these price levels as zones because there's no set price, because in the live market, it may move either above or below this level and you have to wait for price to kind of settle before taking a trade. I'm drawing these because these are things that I like to do in terms of taking trades. So I like to take trades from these zones. So anyway, so we kind of have a similar area right here. Price broke up, retested this level, and now we're sitting here. So that still looks good. And then let's go down to this level down here. Okay, so we do have some rejections. We do have a bit of a rejection right here. And then we also have some sort of fake out right here. So I do want to see how this looks if I move this down. Okay, I actually like this a little bit better. And now we're sitting around 24.75. So I actually like that a little bit better. So I just wanted to move that. So now we're coming to the point where we could actually do our analysis for this upcoming week. And just taking a quick look at the market. Okay, still got a lot of data. So this market is obviously in a really strong bullish state, and I want to continue to follow this trend. Will it get up to 3,000? I don't know. I don't know when, but I want to make sure that I set myself up for success. I'll only be looking for buys. There may be an opportunity for a short-term short, and we're going to map that out right now. So one of the things that I see in this market is this level right here at 27 flat. Mainly because it's a nice round psychological level and price pushed up, formed a support, and then it pushed up here. So this is kind of like a minor level. And as price forms throughout the week, you want to make sure that you look at these levels and make sure they make sense, because price may just blow past these levels and you have to draw new structure. And because you've watched this video, you know how to do that for yourself. So this is a level that I see, and one trading idea that I do have is for price to reject this level. If it doesn't continue to push up, reject this level, come back to around 2,700 and then continue to push up. And then price could continue to push up from there. So where it goes, I don't know. But what I like to do is I like to look over to the right-hand side and look at numbers like maybe 2740 or 2750, basically nice round psychological numbers, and use those as potential targets inside of the market just until price settles. But usually price will go to one of those levels and just kind of hang around a little bit and maybe continue the move or maybe retrace a little bit. It just all depends on what's happening inside of the live market. But I like to use those levels as targets if I don't have any market structure to tell me where price could potentially go. So that's one trade idea. Another trade idea for me is for price to make a deeper retracement, coming all the way back down to 2675 zone and then pushing up. So looking to the left, some of the things that I see that could potentially be obstacles is obviously inside of the zone and waiting for price to kind of settle and just seeing what it's going to do. If it gives me some market structure around here that tells me that price wants to continue to move up, then I'll take a buy. But if price continues to sell off, then I may want to wait and see what price is doing. So the reason why I'm seeing that is because this consolidation here and then this right here where price did push up, but then it came right back down. You just have to wait a little bit before just hopping into the move. The next thing that I see is this area around 2638, really close to 2640. And that's mainly because price came into the zone once, twice, and then pushed up. So it pushed up from here from 2600 flat, and then it took a little break, tried to go up a little bit more, took a little break, and then it pushed up. And this area is familiar to me because I did take a trade inside of this zone. It was actually around 2650 after price had made some sort of structure in here, and it did dance around a little bit. I almost got stopped out by 3 points, but it didn't stop me out. Price continued to push, and then once I got to around this area right here, that's when I took my profits because I was happy with it. And so far it has been the highest trading day of my career so far, my trading career so far. So that's why I really like this area, just based on things that I've seen inside of the market and the fact that price made structure here a couple of times before really pushing up. And price could potentially retrace to this level. So let's go ahead and map this out. So the first thing is that if price breaks this level, it could come down to this level. This is 386 pips, and that's mainly because of price making structure here. Now we do see some areas where price could potentially rest and bounce up. That's why it's risky, especially considering that the market is bullish, but I'm mostly interested in buys. So price could push up from any of these levels. That's why it's risky. And unless we have a lot of volume to push it down here, then it could be a bit risky. I'm looking for buys and I'm waiting for price to settle before taking the trade. But let's just say that price came all the way down to this area right here to 2636. That would be really, really far. That's 1,000 pips. So something really major would have to happen inside of the market in order for it to come all the way down here. But let's just say that it did, then I would be interested in the buys up to here. And then I would be interested in the buy from here to here. So essentially, this is my game plan for the upcoming week. The fact that price is bullish, I will be looking for buys only inside of this market. And I do understand that there's a possibility for price to go to 2730 or 2740, 2750, 60, and so forth. It just really depends on what's happening, and just understanding those underlying factors inside of the gold market is very exciting follow the trend. That's what I plan on doing. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.